Before I got introduced to e-commerce, I was actually buying and reselling various goods, and that was basically my business model. So in this video, I'm going to cover 5 things you guys can actually buy and resell and make a good amount of money, whether it's a few $100 per week to actually a few $1,000s per month. I've done most of this stuff and I've sold most of the items I'm going to talk about, so it's going to be coming from someone who's actually done this. Before I get into it, be sure to leave a like and click subscribe if you want to see more content similar to this, more business related content, e-commerce. I post all sorts of stuff, so without further ado, let's get into it. The first item I recommend you guys to buy and resell, it's something I did a lot of in the past few years. I don't really do it anymore, but it's going to be iPhones. iPhones, iPads, AirPods, Apple computers, Apple devices. It's a really hot market where everyone buys the newest devices and then just either has their iPhone sitting or does something where they're constantly getting the new devices so their old ones just kind of collect dust, which makes it a killer secondhand market where you can start buying these devices at a lower price than people normally would sell their device for because they just don't use it. And then you can post it on somewhere like eBay if you want to ship it, or if not, you can do Craigslist, local places like that, some of the apps, Let Go, all that good stuff. iPhones, iPads, and all that stuff, that was actually the first sort of area in my business career where I started making a good amount of money, was pulling in a few $1,000s per month, and I was still in high school. So it's a great business model. I recommend a lot of people to get into it. You have to obviously educate yourself, make sure you understand the potential risks of buying certain devices like iCloud locked phones, stolen phones. You don't want to do that. Be sure you're being legal and being ethical in your business transactions, but it is a good business model. You can actually meet a lot of cool people who maybe get phones regularly, whether they buy them in bulk or do something to where you can make a good amount of profit on a consistent basis. The way you source these phones could be posting wanted ads on various platforms like Let Go, Facebook Marketplace, and Craigslist. This is exactly what I did. I would post very flashy photos on those platforms of cash and then phones, like literally stacks of cash and stacks of phones, and then I would say wanted iPhones, or like we buy iPhones, we buy iPads. Stuff like that catches people's attention, and then in the back of their head they could be like, oh, I forgot I had that old iPhone, I wonder how much money I can get for it. So that's the first type of product, or I guess products. It's overall Apple products, they just sell really well. Those products I suggest you guys look into buying and reselling. You can start with as little as like 50 or $100, buy one phone, and then continue flipping your way up to where now you're working with a few $1,000s, buying multiple phones per day, dependent on what city you live in, because obviously the bigger the city, the more potential phones or iPads or whatever you could start buying. Now the next one is going to be clothing. This may sound a little weird, like clothing, that sounds so boring, but I've actually made a little bit of money doing this, going to various garage sales, buying people's secondhand clothing where they've used it up and then they just don't really wear them anymore, or kids clothing where their kids grew out of clothing and then you can buy it and sell it on eBay. I've done this a little bit, not as much as iPhone reselling, but it is something that's also very profitable. You can also do thrifting, go to thrift stores, buy clothes there, and then end up selling it on eBay. eBay is like the best option because you are actually reaching a large audience where it's not like Craigslist where you're limited to your population. So that is good that you can actually start listing stuff on there. It will require you to ship out products and do all that stuff, which it takes a little bit of learning, but you'll be making more money, so it's not really anything to stress about. Goodwill is a cool place you can actually go where they do have some name brand clothing that you can then buy and sell on eBay. I know there's a big demand for these certain ties that people buy at Goodwill and then sell on eBay. They buy it for like a few dollars and then sell for $20, $30, $50, $100 on eBay. So there is a big market there if you do the right research and you actually start to find out which clothing sells, which doesn't, and then maybe create your own little niche where you become that seller on eBay that sells these specific ties or these button-up shirts, shorts, etc. There's so many products you can actually buy and resell, but clothing is a good one. The next thing you can actually buy and resell, I've done this myself as well, video game consoles, video games, video game controllers, anything in regards to video games. Essentially, you want to think of stuff that has demand, and where there's demand, there's going to be buyers, there's also going to be sellers, but you just want to basically look around and see what people are currently wanting. This is what I've done with my whole life, just analyzing essentially what the market wants and then providing that product. That's how I've basically made all of my money. So video games, great area, great product to start buying and reselling. A good example would be the new consoles, the Xboxes and the PlayStations. When those things released, there was an extremely limited quantity, so if you could actually get your hand on some of them, you could resell them for double to triple what you're actually paying for, which is ridiculous. But again, that's a great way to make money. I actually have sold consoles to a person in California when I used to live there, where I walked into his apartment where he was buying, I think it was an Xbox I was selling, an Xbox and some games. I walked in and his whole living room had literally like bookshelves full of games, consoles, essentially any video game console you can think of. He had it, all the video games, controllers. It was insane. He was a flipper for video games, and that was his niche or his product, what he bought and resold. He had grown it to a huge business, and I'm sure he started by just thinking of the idea like, maybe video games will sell well because a lot of people have them. The new ones come out, the old ones get put in the back of the closet or something. So if I can buy them for a good price, maybe clean them up a little bit and then list them on eBay or even sell them locally, I can make a lot of money. So again, video game consoles, video games, controllers, headsets, all great products that you can start buying. And the same way you source the iPhones, you can source video game consoles, basically posting wanted ads where you say, hey, I'm looking to buy used consoles, new consoles, even broken, if you know how to fix them, or just sell them for a little profit on eBay. Wanted ads are a great way overall to get people interested in selling you whatever you are looking to buy at the time. Now, this next product, you're most likely going to need a car or just really strong muscles and endurance, but this next one is going to be furniture. Now, hear me out with this one, because you may be thinking like furniture, that sounds like it's gonna take up way too much time, way too much space, and it may not even be worth it. Okay, so there are a lot of people who move out of their apartment, out of their house, or get new furniture, and then just want to get rid of their furniture and get their old stuff out. I know a lot of my family members, we just donate it all. We literally call up a company, they come pick it up, and then we donate it, and they go ahead and sell it at their store. It's how it works, and it's easy because we don't have the time to go out and start listing it and do all that stuff. And I'm sure it happens all over. I know if I move out of this apartment, I'm probably going to just list my stuff for pickup and have someone come and pick it up, and they can go ahead and sell the furniture. I really don't care. And there are many people like me that have that thought where they just would rather not put in the time to try and sell it and hassle and whatever. So a lot of people post their furniture for sale for a low price, or even give it away for free in the free section of various local listings like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So having a business where you go around and pick up furniture or buy it for really cheap, fix it up, clean it a little bit, and then resell it locally for a higher price than you bought it, it's a great business. I personally haven't done this one just because I didn't have a big enough car to actually start picking up couches or love chairs or stuff like that. I had a small little Jetta, so that really didn't work for me, but this is nonetheless a great option to actually get going with buying and reselling items. This is something where you can actually run local Facebook ads in your area saying, hey, I have a company where we will pick up furniture for you that you don't want, unwanted furniture that's just sitting in your garage or sitting in a closet, whatever. We'll pick it up for you. We will save you all of the hassle of having to list it and sell it and all that stuff. We'll just take it from you. Or if they want to sell it, you can say, hey, send us a price, and then if you think it's fair, you guys can buy the furniture and then flip it. That's a great business model that you guys can easily pull in a few $100 to a few $1,000 per month. The last item you guys can start buying and reselling, this will require a little more capital. I wanted to make sure I hit all points because some people only have $100 to start, some people have a few thousand. So I need to make sure I'm talking about everything possible. But the last item is going to be cars. Now, you may be wondering, like, cars, are you kidding me? How am I gonna store them? How am I gonna buy them for cheap? Because a lot of people in their heads think buying a car it's a depreciating asset. How can I make money on it? Well, this past year, it's been obvious the car market has been booming. I've bought my cars in the past year and they've gone up in value, which is awesome. But overall, the car market is a great place where you can make money on cheap cars that are selling for like a few $1,000s. You buy them, clean them up a little bit, detail them, take better photos than the previous owner had, and then you can list them and make an extra $1,000 on the car, a few $1,000s on the car. If it's a really cheap car, a few $100. Motorcycles as well, basically same thing. Overall though, car flipping could be a good way to actually start stacking up money to that next level. You could start with iPhone reselling with a few $100, work your way up to a few $1,000, and then buy your first car to flip, make a few $1,000s off of that, And then after a year, next thing you know, you're at like $30,000 or $50,000 saved up if you are doing this consistently. Overall, these are all great options for you to actually get your foot in the door when you want to start making money with a little side hustle. Your side hustle can end up growing into something where it takes over your job and you're making more money from the side hustle than you're actually making with your full-time job. It happened to me where I started with a small little side hustle buying and reselling iPhones, and I slowly kept progressing, and now, made a lot of money, bought a cool new car, moved into this cool apartment. So it's all really possible. You just have to continuously progress through the steps. Again, understand I started at one point with like less than $50, flipping things, doing all this stuff, and then now we're here. So these are, again, 5 things that you guys can buy and resell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little different than my normal content because I'm normally making e-commerce content strictly talking about Shopify dropshipping. However, I do want to start broadening my horizon for content and making general business videos that are more so targeted towards, a broader audience where I can start to help a lot more people. So if you are interested in seeing more business related videos, be sure to click the subscribe button below and also leave a like on this video so I know you enjoyed it. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.